I'd say from this work that's where the journey began. When I started using John or Ivan or Yannick, they had a few different names. His boots and his tools recreate some certain historical aspects of their existence as immigrants in Australia. That's why there is one work which actually I depicted how he sat in this room and basically whinged that as back then in Italy, when he ended up during Second World War, the Italian peasants used to eat better food than Australian aristocrats. So the way these words resonated in my memory, and I painted this on the front panel of piano, the depiction of Ukrainian village with lake, Ukrainian church, his boots as a sort of memory of his voice, and then I actually opened I would have called it a vault, or how would you call it, a certain partition which separates mechanical part of the piano, what's inside. So basically it says Davenport Tracy, New York. I depicted exactly this logo and gold gilded letters, and I thought it was very important. So basically that was one of the first works where I dared to get inside the piano, and then depiction of the room comes secondary. I even warped the pieces of furniture because, seemingly piano is very geometrical object. It's got a rectangular shape, but the music, I don't think it's actually fluid very voluptuously. It's not angular. And then I sort of, the more I've drawn the piano from inside, obviously the more commentaries came with it. This one is still semi the way it is in the piano. This belly full of mechanical parts, but parts like, just a second here. That's I called it a naked piano. It basically exposes all the parts without, let's pretend it does not have the box. It's not boxed inside, and it's also I allowed myself to paint the keys instead of black and white. I painted white and red. Even at that time, there is a sickle here somewhere. I sort of put this sickle along the piano keys. It was here at the same time. I kind of used my imagination a little bit, and it's very important, this tiny element. I would call it lampshade. It's almost like here is it's a depiction of corridor further in, and it's this lampshade which is right above us, and it has amazing sort of stripes. It's very eye-pleasing, but it has been here I don't know for how long, probably even before they purchased the house. And that's a little bit bigger, closer take with parts and as well the depiction of the belly full of harmonies. Yeah. Russian matryoshka, and I had them displayed against the piano's background, and I sort of tried to give them, each one of them impersonate somebody. This was like a pirate, this was Salvador Dali, that was Hitler. So if you look closely, you'll see the resemblance there. It just doesn't come straight away. And then I had another depiction of matryoshkas on the piano. Just give me a second. Here. And I guess this sink and soap and water tap which is attached to the side of the piano, it's basically its impact of COVID lockdown, that we had to wash our hands how many times we could, and we thought it would save us from contracting the virus, but sort of like
Look at the keyboards.
the depiction of them, they almost like derailed railroad. So basically when the music is happening, what's movement happening within the keyboard and how it's reflect the internal mechanics of the piano, it's a mystery. But it's definitely not straight, and all the principles of perspective become violated. That's why I dare to depict such movement on the surface of keyboards as what's possibly music could have been doing. Ukrainian elements of, it's called Pisanki, I'll bring them over. It's obviously collection belonged to Anna's mom Olga, and it's like just a reflection of the piano in the mirror of this, how it's called? Whatever, there is a good name for this piece of furniture. I was doing it's with no rush or any hurriedness to complete the work. I remember painting this like, even if you come around. It was like really inspirational, all these little holes, gaps. To which degree I managed to depict it? I think I managed to depict some of it. And how it's just still full of color, and light sits and absorbs the sunlight. And it's just like this, like forming. And if there is actually a beautiful Lebanese family who live, but into the breakthrough I depicted, there is a cathedral, Greek Orthodox Church at the end of Pine Street, but again I allowed myself to depict Italy because connection of my father-in-law in Italy is just so profound. It's almost as strong as his connection to Ukraine. Yeah. And that's this old fridge, still with, you see this bit of blue, and even the way, that's when he was already living here and he was not well, that's the way he used to lock certain doors by inserting the shoe into it. It's a very important aspect, like actually of what he was like, and we decided to actually keep it like that. That was his safety mechanism. Look, it's I had to, yeah. Little item which is also reminded me of Italy. I don't know why, it's by accident, but when you start putting all those little pieces together, they start sort of, coming forth and making sense why it was like that. How these people came from the other part of the world, and what they brought with them, what they considered Ukrainian, Italian, Australian. It was all so mixed up, so uniquely genuine and precious. Yeah.